everybody. This is Rough Stuff, the podcast where we invite comedians and friends on to tell embarrassing stories about their childhood. I'm one of your co-hosts, Bridgett Greenberg, and I have fainted from smoking weed twice in my life.
And I'm your other co-host, Sarah Griffith. I was there for that. And I one time rolled down my window and threw up outside of my car while I was driving it.
Oh, that's fun. And with us is our guest comedian, Vanessa Gritton.
Hi, I once accidentally waxed off the popular girl's eyebrow at a sleepover.
Oh my God.
Accidentally.
Completely. I wanted her to like me. I wanted to make friends that day, and I did not.
You made an enemy that day, my friend.
Clean off?
Clean off, had to get picked up early because no one wanted to talk to me. Clean off.
Oh.
Because I was cleaning up the top part because we were like, let's do makeovers. And then the wax gooped down at some point. So when I put the strip on, just the whole thing off.
Ouch. For one.
Yeah.
How was your relationship with her after that? Not great?
I mean, we've spoken once since high school and we laughed, but all throughout high school, it was just open
Real
hostility.
tense.
Just open hostility intense.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's anyone. Even if it wasn't the popular girl, anybody would probably be mad.
I will have to say, you maybe deserved it a little bit. A little bit.
Because now as an adult.
That was an accident, and I will give you that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if the shoe was on the other foot.
Scorched earth.
Yeah. For sure. I don't know.
over.
Maybe this is me and my breed of human, but I would be too polite to actually fully get mad and just be like, okay. And just
that would draw tears welling in my eyes. I was like, it's fine. I can just color it back in and it'll go back. And it's not a big deal. Mom, can you pick me up?
Yeah. I fully in that situation would be too polite to get actually mad. But no, that's bad.
That is bad.
I mean, to be fair, it was a free eyebrow waxing from a 14-year-old. So
what we're
that's true.
expecting.
Why you girls
That
had
is
access to wax to begin with is their first mistake.
I feel like every girl, or at least in your school, you had one bad makeover story where you've gotten into your mom's your mom's makeup and grooming stuff, and you just did something real bad. I tweezed off my eyebrows pretty much. I just had
Jesus.
a line at one point, and they're like, why didn't you ask to go get waxed? I was 15. It would have been appropriate.
Right.
It was I wanted to do it myself.
Yeah.
The magazine made it seem easy, and this is the closest thing I have to autonomy.
Gen Z has no idea how good they have it with the YouTube makeup tutorials.
Yes.
Those kind of became popular when I was in college, and I literally was I had no idea that wearing green eyeshadow, for example, was actually disgusting and ugly, and it looks bad on me. I had no idea until this nice lady told me how to do my makeup with this Urban Decay palette or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, contouring wasn't a thing when I was in high school. Perfectly lined lips, no. I grew up in Orange County, and I grew up in the area where the only makeup things that we were all doing was foundation that was 4 shades lighter and MAC eyeliner over a lighter until it's nice and warm and smudgy.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then just everywhere.
See, I was such a tomboy that I never wore makeup until college, but I had friends, and maybe some of the most traumatizing experiences of my life of we're gonna strap you down and put makeup on you, and
That
being
is the worst
I don't
feeling.
want this, and then they would force me, and then I would be the one being well, they did this, and I felt really uncomfortable because it's all your friends being you're not
You need
right.
help.
Yeah. And it felt terrible. It was traumatizing. That's my bullying story.
One of my very best friends, to this day, this girl's like a sister to me. The first time that we hung out, it was kind of one of those things freshman year where we're all on the same floor or whatever. And so our doors are all open because we're, going in between each of the rooms. What are you wearing? And kind of getting together communally, like a coven basically. And so I was doing my hair, and she was like, do you want me to do your hair for you? And I was like, yes. And then I started doing my makeup, and she goes, do you want me to do your makeup?
Oh.
I was like, okay, fuck you, but yes, thank you for helping me out here.
It feels other people doing your makeup who are not HMU makeup artists always feels very judgy.
Yeah.
It never feels good. They're always this is what you have. These are the colors you have. Oof. And
or so where's your concealer? I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Expand. What do you mean?
You never clean your brushes?
Yeah. Yeah. They're you have 3 and they've never been washed. And I'm yeah.
They
That's
work.
bad. Is that bad?
Not good?
Is that bad?
These are Elf brand from Target. They were $1. Is that bad?
Is it bad that there's 3 bristles like on this brush, like 3 strands of hair left on this brush?
I had
Just like
pink
an
eye last
eyelash.
semester, but it's okay now, right? Like this is fine.
This is great.
I only this year learned that makeup has an expiration date like right on the bottle and had not a clue.
I know that and choose to forget that fact. I think like every time someone brings it up, I'm like, oh right.
I didn't even know what it looked like and like how it was listed. Like I thought it was like food where it just say like consumed by da da da.
What's gonna happen? Like,
I mean, you can get like an eye infection.
Yeah, there's that.
yeah. Okay, well,
That is the one thing that I am kind of conscious on makeup is that like I don't want my eyes to be gross.
but that's just eye makeup then. So like foundation, you're good.
Yeah,
That's true. Oh fuck, I'll wear the same foundation for 30 goddamn years. I
Yep.
don't give a fuck.
Well, this is very specific. So Vanessa, tell us. Let's broaden our audience now.
Yes.
What if you had to define like an awkward phase stage in your life? Where would that land? Where do you think that would land?
I feel like it hasn't ended.
Right, of course. Yeah.
But I definitely would say like my first 2-3 years of high school were the most
Those are
uncomfortable years of my life because I didn't really care what anybody thought before that, but then all of the caring happened in those times because my high school was because it was also a really small high school. I was a graduating class of 30 kids.
Oh,
so we all knew each other really well.
Yeah.
We had known each other since we were all like 8 years old. So I couldn't like come to a new high school and be like, hey, this is who I am now. They're like, we still remember who you were.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you don't get that fresh start.
No, I had a similar thing where it was not that small. It was 97 kids, but it was still like it was the Jewish population of Miami. So we all knew each other and we all grew up together and like our parents knew each other and like everybody.
That's
so, like,
brutal.
Yeah, you couldn't have like a big like growing up change of who you were.
Yeah.
To like start anew because everyone's like, no, we've known you since you were a baby. You've always been this way.
Yeah, we remember when you
Yeah.
peed your pants in 5th grade or like whatever.
And
yeah.
like, yeah, you can never like just move on from who you were
Exactly.
until later. Then like, what was your scene during that time? Like, how did you move around in high school?
I bounced around a lot.
Okay, you were like
That's
one of
good.
the-
I think that's healthy though.
Especially like between the last 2 years, I did a whole mess of bouncing around because I had the friends that I'd known since I was like 8 years old. And then I made friends with a group of guys we didn't even really talk to each other in school. We would just meet by the same train tracks and smoke cigarettes.
Nice.
And just put
That's
pennies on the
cool.
tracks. And like
Awesome.
that was our friendship.
Cool,
And then
cool.
as we got older, for some reason, I was just like adamant about like not smoking weed, which I started when I was 22 and just hit the ground running.
Yeah, the later you are with that, I feel like
The more
harder-
intense.
Yeah.
It was all of my friends in high school that were very much like, I am not smoking marijuana, who are now the biggest potheads.
Yeah, like
The
I'm a
biggest
big old
potheads.
pothead, and
Yeah.
I didn't smoke weed throughout all of high school, but all of my friends did. So like that was our hangout. We'd do train tracks, or we'd do like skate park, and that
God,
was
you're
like my
fucking
after school
cool.
friends.
Can I
Like,
just
cool
say
stuff.
you're really cool?
I was just like a grimy little weirdo that was just like I can't skate, but I'll like hang out and do my homework.
Yeah.
And
Not cool anymore.
Not
Sorry.
cool
Yeah, you
anymore.
lost us there.
Yeah.
And then like for a very brief, like almost teenage comedy taste of time, I want to say like the year before I graduated high school, kind of got like recruited into like the popular girls group. I think it's because I like lost a bunch of weight over that summer and I discovered a flat iron.
Oh, okay,
That they
yeah.
were just kind of like,
You look like us now.
you look like this now. Now we have this one. And I didn't really think anything of it other than like, oh, they're nice to me now.
Right.
And that lasted for about 8 months.
Yeah.
Before it crashed and burned in a spectacular fashion when like all things do in high school, where my best friend and like the Regina Georges of that group best friend got into a tiff over a boy, and then I was persona non grata,
right.
which is actually kind of great because then my last year of high school I was just like
Yeah, you didn't care. Okay.
Wow, you like what a plot of a movie you've just described. Like,
And you went with your OG friend.
yeah, like because
Yeah, that's of course.
I never drifted away from anyone, but
Right.
they were just kind of like, hey,
Right. It just seemed like you made new friends.
Yeah, I just made new friends, and they were just kind of like, "Hey, she might not be the nicest person in the universe," and I was like,
Right.
I could change everyone.
She's nice to me.
She's nice to me. She just, sometimes steals stuff from Claire's and puts it in my bag."
oh my god.
Oh, gee.
And I was in denial about the whole thing.
I definitely tried to operate that way for a long time in high school, where I'm just like, well, that person didn't do anything to me, so that's fine. And
Yeah.
then you realize, like, no, but the reason everyone complains about them is because they're a bad person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I have no bad things to say. And it was like, that doesn't count for everything.
I think I still juggle with that too,
Yeah.
where it's like, look, I get, like, it's kind of weird, like, socially. In high school, I think it's, like, most prevalent because there are, like, you are around other people
Right.
day in and day out. But it's weird, like, you almost draw territory lines Game of Thrones style, but it's unspoken.
Yeah.
So, like,
It's
I'm
all
sure the
allegiances.
Regina Georges were like, well, you know, she's friends with that girl, so we're going to lose her. And it's kind of like, almost
Right.
like polling.
Yeah.
Like, well, I know they're not going to be on my side for this argument because they're closer with, you know, so-and-so or whatever.
I was, I think it was like beginning of 7th grade where I am dumb and naive probably to this day. And I didn't realize, I thought I had gone to a new school in 6th grade where I knew everyone. So I knew all the people. And I was like, oh, just my friends who I've grown up with. Mm-hmm. I'm now at that school. And I walked in the school and everything was great. And I guess I would never consider myself popular, but I guess those were who my friends were the popular kids. Mm-hmm. And I just remember saying to one of my friends, like, what's great about this school, I feel like there are no cliques. And my friend just going, oh, no, there are. And went through the yearbook and showed me, like, person by person.
Like the montage in the teenage
and it was
movie.
Like, yeah, it was that. They're like, that person's popular. That person's not. That person hangs out with that person. And I was like, oh, and then walking into 7th grade, I think that's when I stopped being cool because I started becoming like hyper aware of like everything, and I was like, oh no, now I'm gonna be a weirdo. My eyes are too open.
Yeah.
I know too much now. I can't act normal.
Yeah, it's all of a sudden you start watching like how much you manicure yourself
Right.
around certain people,
Right, like-
and then it just comes off as like frantic and
Right, I'm like,
uncomfortable.
right, because I wasn't cool. I just happened to be around the cool people, so then I was aware that they were cool and that I was not.
Yeah.
And
I
like,
was
well,
always like also really self-conscious about being considered fake because I have like a broad range of interests. Like I can talk to anybody about anything. Like I just like a bunch of things and I know how to adjust because there are some people that I like here, like I can talk about like my embarrassing, but there are other friends like I wouldn't do this with.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want people to think that like, oh, well, she acts differently when she's with their other friends and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, I'm just socially adjusting because I can't tell these group of friends about my diarrhea like I can y'all.
Yeah.
You know, like there's...
You had your diarrhea friends and you had your...
They're my popular friends.
Yeah.
Them's is rules, okay? I'm sorry.
Don't tell your
We live in
popular
a
friends
society.
about diarrhea.
Damn.
Yeah, the diarrhea group's a real mess, though.
Those are
You
my
can never
those are
yeah.
my best friends though.
The
Okay.
diarrhea group.
The
Okay.
diarrhea.
Yeah.
Well, you just have a hard time getting them all to hang out at one time because someone's in gastric distress.
I'm assuming
point.
everyone that's close to me is suffering some sort of GI problem, like at all
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. No,
if not, I don't want to hang out with them.
As you get into like, I feel like the threshold is like out of college. I'll say you should assume that someone is having a stomach problem at any
Yeah.
given
For
point.
sure.
Yeah.
25 and up, somebody
Is not feeling great.
sucking on a tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have them in my house all the time now,
Yeah.
just because I know most of my friends are like, "You're probably about to all shit your pants. 'Cause we can't handle food the way we used to."
No, and I refuse to eat well. So
Yeah.
what are we gonna do about it?
What the
Yeah.
fuck? I'm not doing that.
I don't. I have the strength to handle my gastric distress. I do not have the strength to not eat gluten.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you pick your poison, you know?
Exactly.
I like bread. One of these times we're not going to talk about poop on this podcast.
kill me when that day comes.
Yeah, one of these times. So Vanessa, is there anything that like stands out to you from that time of like, oh boy, I shouldn't have done that? Like
There's so much.
Always. Yeah.
We started off with a great one.
You did. Yeah, that is.
Oh my God. There's a few that come to mind. There's the time I kissed one of my best friends in the 9th grade, and immediately post kiss, he was like, "I'm gay." And
I just learned right now.
bad
and that's
timing.
when I was just like, I'm trying to cover up for the fact that I have a crush on my friend Crystal. So we were both each other's beards.
Oh, that's nice though. It's kind of sweet.
But the thing is, the I shouldn't have done that part was the kiss part because I did not know how to kiss. So it was
I mean, who does?
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm about to blush because
it's okay. They can't see
it
you.
wasn't. It was what I thought a kiss was, which was me licking his teeth. We're still friends.
Oh my god!
And
I'm
he
gonna do
loves
that the
to
next time I
bring it
kiss
up.
somebody. So did you just go? Did you go like mouth first, and then the tongue came out and touched
Mouth,
teeth?
tongue to teeth. Because like
The front of his teeth?
like front of his teeth. Because we were both just like sitting at a pool, like after a pool party, and we were just like talking about something, and like I had like just talked to this girl, and she had like just told me about the guy she was seeing, so I was bummed.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, rebound time.
Yeah.
And
Let me put my tongue on somebody's teeth right away.
right away.
That's
And so,
so funny.
as like literally as soon as I like lick his teeth and we disconnect, we both just come out to each other. As soon as I just remove my face hugging mouth from his poor boy mouth.
Oh my God. I would love if that is the way that you come out. Like, I wish that was like the way.
Yeah.
Like, you
Just
have
kissing on my friends.
You have to find another partner who is also in the closet or is questioning or whatever, and then you have to put your tongue on their teeth, and then you both say, "I'm gay."
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
What? Yeah. Anyway,
And we
I'm
were just
sorry,
super tight for the rest of our lives because of that.
that's
But,
sweet.
I mean,
That's a
of
sweet
course,
story,
yeah,
though.
that's the only way.
Yeah.
Either you part
Yeah.
and never speak, or you're best friends forever now.
Yeah, and because of that, we now like share with each other just like every weird, humiliating thing we've ever done with anybody else.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's just like, well, camaraderie.
There are no
Yeah.
secrets.
There are
once
no
you-
secrets.
Once you
yeah.
put your tongue on someone's tooth, you know.
Yeah. He's the
it's all-
person I go to, and I'm like,
And
hey.
have you ever done that again? Be honest.
I haven't done that again, but I have done far worse things. Like,
Oh God.
this wasn't in my adolescence. This was actually when I immediately started dating post divorce. But I like kissed someone that I was working on a collaboration for something with, and I was like, well, that was uncomfortable, and we're never talking again. But I already paid him money, so I'm out $100. So that's the most expensive kiss I've ever had.
Oh,
Jesus.
wow. Brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal. I love it.
Yep.
Brutal.
I mean, when do you even know when it's time to kiss another person? Honestly,
I don't know.
I feel like there are. I always err on the side of caution. I feel like there are. I'm not joking. Dozens of people I should have kissed, but I never wanted to lean my head in because God forbid I see them move their head away from my lean in, as I have done so many people prior.
Oof.
I don't think I could live with myself.
Oh my God. It's
That
the
sounds
just
terrible.
instant flop sweat. And the thing is, I don't know how I ever got to that point, like to where I do the lean in.
Yeah.
Because every time I've ever kissed someone, it's always just been like, all right, I'm going to go 60%. And if you haven't moved, I'm going to land the 90 and then it's you.
Yeah.
And anytime I've ever been kissed, it's never been like actually only one time. And it's the guy I'm currently dating now who is just kind of like, can I kiss you? And I was like, hell yeah.
That's nice.
I know it's happening, but like every other time has just been like an old timey movie, just like grab and
Right.
kiss.
And the other
Yes.
person just goes limp.
Where it's just kind of like, I was in the middle of a sentence that wasn't sexy. So
I had a guy in college come up to me. This is actually like fucking awful, but I can laugh about it now. I was literally at a party talking with my friends in like a circle, like in the kitchen, and he was drunk, and he came up to me and literally just put his mouth on my mouth.
Oh.
And he was moving his lips, but I certainly was not. And I just stood there with my eyes looking at my friends like, get this fucking guy off of me. Because like literally my mouth was like closed like I was in church. Like
my
I
God.
could not have been less receptive to this. And then like my friends pulled him off and he just walked away, and I was like, what the fuck just happened?
That-
Like where in the night did I make eye contact with this person? Like, hey, definitely
smooch.
put your mouth on my mouth. I definitely want you to do that.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
That's bad.
That's terrible.
I am so thankful for my friends for this, but this is a very long story. I once got tricked onto going on a date where it just wasn't clear that this thing was a date.
Oh, one of those things.
Yeah, it just like wasn't clear, and he thought it was a date, and I like just was like, I thought everybody was like, I thought this was a big group thing, and it's just you and me, and we're going on a date.
The worst.
And then apparently he was like talking about this date to our other friends, our other mutual friends, and they're like, "Does Bridget know you're going on a date?" I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have agreed.
Oh,
and then he was
shit.
and then he was nervous, and he was like, "All right, well, what I'm gonna do is he said this to my friends. I'm just gonna go up and I'm gonna kiss her." And all of them were like, "No, oh my
No,
God,
don't do
she'll
that.
kill
No.
you." And that's another hot rough stuff tip. Don't just go up and kiss people. There is
Yes,
a timing.
don't do
There's
that.
a timing to it.
You have to know their name at least. Minimum.
Yeah. There's just a timing to it. That is weird.
Yeah.
But
Just
was
don't
that
do it.
was the licking teeth thing? Was that a first kiss?
That wasn't a first kiss.
Okay.
That was a second kiss. The first kiss happened when I was trying to watch Superbad and I was actually enjoying the movie.
Right.
And the guy next to me was just like, "Hey," and I was like, "What?" And then he just like went in for it.
Oh.
And the entire time I like kept trying to still watch the movie.
It's a great
he's
movie.
just like sucking on my. It was like the scene where the girl perioded on the guy too. So
Right.
I was like, "This
That's
is
a
really
great
funny."
scene. Yeah.
And I couldn't even finish the rest of the movie because I was just like, "All right, I guess this is
Now
happening
we're
now."
making out. Yeah.
Which it isn't even like the last, "Hey, what?" kiss of
Right.
my life.
Yeah.
Like I think
Yeah.
I've had 3 kisses in my life where it was me going,
Yeah.
"What?" and then someone on my face.
Yeah. It's bad timing.
Yeah.
If you're gonna put on a movie that is a makeout movie, make sure it's
a
mediocre.
shitty one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
It has to be scoring at least in the lower 50 percentile in Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why would you put on something that I would end up becoming my favorite? I didn't even watch it again until I was an adult, and I was
Right.
so mad because I was like,
Oh.
I could have loved this movie my whole
for,
life.
for a very long time. Yeah, that's exactly why comedians in cars exists on Netflix.
Yeah.
Wait, ew. No, it's
No,
not.
it's like the most neutral thing.
But I
Or
would
like
Seinfeld.
yeah, like a thing that like everyone likes.
Sure. But I just don't like
but,
that
doesn't
comedians
care.
in cars is the one that you were like, oh yeah, throw that on and make out while, Jerry
No,
Seinfeld
it-
is driving,
It's like that, or like something that like you either don't care about but is enjoyable enough to
Exactly.
watch,
Or something you've seen
a million
before.
times, like Parks and Rec. Everyone's
like-
seen
or
it
like
a million
a
times.
family movie that isn't Disney. Or
Right.
like, sure, I'll fucking throw on Peter Rabbit and make out to this or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's specific
Simpsons?
movies.
My Simpsons is
The
perfect.
Simpsons. Oh yeah.
I
Well,
wanna
I'll do even
make-
better. Family Guy. I'm not gonna watch
people
that
care,
for sure.
People care less about Family Guy.
Yeah, fuck no.
There should be one of the Netflix categories should be just movies to make out to.
Yeah.
Like
You know
it
what?
should
Those
be a
sons-
Netflix and
those
chill
sons of
category.
bitches are just like, I'm not joking, days away from releasing this category.
I can't
Days
believe
away.
there is not a Netflix and chill category of
Yeah.
movie. Of like, you're not going to care about this.
There's a market and
yeah.
I'm demanding it.
Yeah. One of your algorithms finally has your super specific playlist titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make that one. That's what everyone wants.
I've never had a guy immediately come out to me right after he's kissed me, but I want to say maybe the first 5 kisses I've ever had in my life were with men who were gay and who, even at the time, I knew they were gay, but they didn't know. And I was like, but I am getting kissed and this feels good. So, okay, I'll be the
Just
mistake.
go with it.
I'll be the, you can learn through, well, not learn through me. That's not it at all. But like, that's a terrible thing to say. And I know that's not how it works. I'm sorry. But like, it's like, okay, well, if they want to kiss me now, sure. They're not going to want to kiss me, maybe 10 years from now. But as of now, I'll accept this mouth on my mouth. This is kind of nice. And plus no consequence. Cause like, we're not going to go anywhere after this. Like, come on.
There's an entire group of like, I think there's like 3 of them that I went to junior high and high school with that I was like, I feel like we almost kissed once, but I don't think that's what it was. And then we've like made friends as adults and they're like, oh yeah, that almost happened. I'm like, why didn't you tell me?
That's the worst. That's the worst.
So
I would have
funny.
loved that information.
I used to have such a crush on you. It's like, well, thanks for telling me now.
Right.
Well, how am I supposed to feel about this?
Thanks for telling me now that you have a wife and child.
Right.
I can't
Right.
do anything with this.
Great. You mean when I was a lonely teen, you
Yep.
didn't think
Yeah,
that was
when
a
I
good
was
time,
like
but
desperate for any sort of attention from
Right.
a man. Fuck.
yeah, teens are stupid. Also,
Yeah.
like the licking the front of the teeth one isn't the worst one I've heard. I feel like I have
Really?
heard like of
I mean,
like,
no offense, but really?
I got one more.
oh
Ooh.
It's not licking the front of the teeth, but it is forgetful. Because
Oh.
did you guys ever go to like Warp 2 or anything like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I would go to that, and we went to one, and I went and I ran into a boy that I liked like most of my life. but
Right.
he went to a different high school, and I was just like, perfect, kismet. We can
Right.
kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here at the
And
Warped Tour.
we're at Warp Tour. That's what it is for.
Yeah.
We're teenagers with no adult supervision. We're just running wild.
Right.
So we were like hanging out after like a particularly rowdy one where
Yeah.
I had just been like pushed into the dirt a bunch.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
And
Warped Tour gets real.
and it was like during one where just like a riot
Yeah.
had like started to happen. So
Right.
I like clawed my way out of it because
Right.
there was just like a trash can on fire. And we like hang out by some water tents, and I'm like, yes, he's leaning in. He's gonna kiss me.
Yeah.
I lean in the rest of the way. He kisses me. And then he makes a face, just the most disgusted face in the universe, and leans back and wipes his mouth. And I had not realized that when I got pushed in the dirt, I got dirt all over my mouth, inside my mouth, and in my teeth. And I like kind of like spit into my hand a little bit, and I just spit black. So you just got like a mouthful of mud.
What a post-kiss move is to just spit in your hand.
I was so panicked. I was just like, I need to see what he's seeing, and I like, and then I saw, and I was just like, no, I just transferred mud into his mouth.
Oh my God, that's very
That's
bad.
And
but very hardcore and rock and roll of you though. Like that's fucking really radical. But that's also bad. That's bad.
Because then he was just like, I'm gonna go see if my mom can pick me up by.
I had a friend who ran up to me after a party and she's like, I think I'm getting cold, and I just coughed in Rob's mouth. And I never laughed so hard to this day. Like the idea of just straight up coughing into someone's mouth is so gross.
Funny to me.
This,
so funny.
This didn't happen to me, I swear to God. If it would, I obviously would have said it on this podcast by now. But I remember like I was kind of the first one that threw like a big high school party. It was my 17th birthday. And to this day, I think I've talked about it on the show. Like to this day, people are still like, dude, that was the best fucking party. And we had a hookah, like someone had bought a hookah and there were 2 hoses.
That is a good high school party.
Oh, fuck yeah, at 17. Hell yeah, bitch. Love that. Exactly. And they were like shotgunning into each other's mouths. And that's, you know, when the 2 mouths kiss and you blow smoke in another person's mouth.
Hot.
And so like one of our friends came by and one of my girlfriends who was like really beautiful was like, hey, let me shotgun in your mouth. And so she did it and he didn't know what that was. So he just started to make out with her when their lips touched. And then they both had to pull away and be like, so you don't know what's happening here at all.
No.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, because later at school, I didn't even see this happen, but they're like, oh yeah, so-and-so and so-and-so made out. And I was like, wait, real? Like literally like Santa Claus and the Easter, that would make more sense. Like Donald Trump and the Easter Bunny made out. Like, wait, what the fuck? Like, why were those 2 people even in the same room?
Why
and
would
one
you
of those
think
people,
shotgunning is making out?
Yeah.
Well, because he just saw like her mouth going to his mouth and was just like, okay. And then just like started to make out with her. And then like they both kind of pulled away and was like,
bad.
well, he wound up being gay. I mean, so that, you know, it was just like, well, you know.
Yeah.
Great.
That's really funny. I remember, because no one, you know, your first couple kisses are terrible. Like your first couple makeout sessions, no one knows what they're doing.
I beg to differ. Mine was hot and heavy and
great.
Was awesome. Yeah.
Well, good
We're
for
still
you.
together to this day.
Well, good for you, because I remember the first like couple guys I made out with, I was like, maybe I don't like this. I was just like, not like, maybe this isn't for, maybe kissing isn't for me.
This
because
is exhausting.
Really, it's I feel like most of the first couple are like weird, and you think you're supposed to do something weird, but like I just remember like the first like 3 guys I made out with just like unhinged their jaws and like just stuck their tongues fully
very darty.
Yeah, and just like fully stuck their tongue in my mouth, and it was just like, well, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. And I just remember thinking like, maybe this isn't for me. I don't know what the big hype is about, but tried it 3 times, don't like it.
Yeah, that was most of my experience where I was just kind of like, oh man, am I going to be one of those people where it's like I'm going to be in a relationship and we're just cool with hugging?
I was very concerned.
A firm handshake before bed, I think will suffice.
Yeah, like all those Leave It to Beaver kind of era stuff where it's just like 2 separate beds and you're just
like, oh, those are the people that go when they don't like this. And it turns out everyone around me was just really bad.
Yeah. I have the added level of embarrassment of like some of my early kisses are photographed because they're on stage and in plays that I did. And I didn't realize I had been doing this thing throughout high school that I was like, oh, I should pump the brakes on doing that. I saw in a photo, I am grabbing, and we're on stage, but this is how I kissed. You know, there's not a difference between how I kissed on stage versus real fucking life because I'm an actor. God damn it. But I like was holding his head like completely behind his neck, basically like pushing his face into my face. Right. And I just saw how violent and aggressive that looked. And I was like, surely there's a daintier way I can make out with people that isn't literally just grabbing and holding that person's face directly on top of my face for the duration of this kiss.
I also remember like seeing high school plays and not being in them and people making out and me just like looking around like, is this not scandalous? And then everyone's just like, no.
No, we
like,
don't really give a fuck.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, the first couple times I saw like 2 of my friends kissing on stage, I was like, are we not? No, everyone's cool. Everyone's mature. Cool. Me too.
There were actually 2 people in high school who like fucking hated each other and they were like in a big kissy play together. And that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That was fun to watch that.
I had to do it with one of my he was a best friend of mine, but not someone I would ever want to kiss in the universe of people I want to kiss.
Sure.
And he like went in for the kiss in the middle of the play, and he muttered something like, "This is awesome," and I just went, "Uh-huh." Because I just didn't know what to do from there. So like, as soon as we got off stage, I was just like, "We need to have a conversation, buddy."
So let's talk about what just happened.
Let's just talk about how this
one,
is
you broke
foreplay.
character when you said this is awesome.
You broke character.
For starters.
2, what a weird thing to say.
What a weird thing to say.
In general, like even if you were kissing outside of the play.
I was literally just thinking, as an adult, could I even like jokingly get away with doing that in a real kiss scenario? And the answer is fucking no.
No. I've
no.
God no. Like I've pulled some as an adult before, but God no. There's a reason his nickname now, when people tell stories about him in high school, even when he talks about it, is Stupid Tom. Everybody's just like, "Oh, remember Stupid Tom?"
Oh man, that is so funny. Was he like in the play to kiss girls? Was he like, yeah, fuck yeah?
No, he was in the play because his parents were just kind of like, "You need to do an extracurricular because we're gonna like try and like get you on the right track." Because he had like both of his parents were like college professors. So he was just like the highly cultivated rich boy of our friends, and
right.
That is, if I had to guess who would say this is awesome mid kiss,
they were wearing.
It would be
in
that
my
kid,
imagination,
exactly.
they were wearing Sperry's.
Right.
He wore Sperry's. He had a Mercedes at 15.
Such a bro.
And because he had the car, me and all the other scummy kids were just kind of like, "Stupid Tom's driving."
Oh man, what a painful nickname.
Oh man,
was that one that was said to his face or
said to his face?
Oof.
All like that's still the nickname. Like we ran, like I think like 3 years ago, we all ran into each other at like a funeral for one of the teachers who had like passed away when she was older, and we're all like dressed in black, and it's like after the service, and then we all see each other, and it's like, "Hey, Stupid Tom's here."
That's like a radio DJ name.
Yeah, seriously.
And we're on with Dumb Tom in the morning.
Did everybody have a moniker like that based on their intelligence, or was it just Stupid
No, just
Tom?
him. It was just like there was Tyler and Mariah and Vanessa and Stupid Tom, and
That is, if you, it sounded like you hung out in a circle of like the skate kids, which is, that's totally a skate kid nickname.
Yeah, that
Stupid
totally
Tom.
is. Yeah.
they had like, there wasn't monikers, but they started like spray painting like
Cool.
logos and stuff on like everyone's junk
Of course,
cars.
the S.
They would do like the S, or they would do like a skull or crossbones, and I finally was able to like get my own car, and they kept trying to like put one on mine, and I was just like, absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, no.
And so like I'd like be at home, and they'd come over, and then I just hear like a spray paint can rattling around their backpack, and I'm like, no, not today.
Get away.
It's
Get
not happening.
Out.
I have my
Please.
neighbors watching. I don't care how close we are.
Yeah.
You are not putting a girl's bathroom sign on my car. That was what they wanted
cool,
to do.
Man.
Yeah, you're like really cool. Like everything I'm hearing about you is like so cool. You have like such a quintessential cool high school experience.
High school was definitely, it was right around when I started to feel like more authentically myself, because like elementary school and junior high was just, I didn't know how tragically uncool I was.
Yeah.
Because what had happened was I started out at a Montessori, and then from that Montessori, I went to a regular structured school, so I had no idea what I was doing. So I was just like a weird little space alien, where I was just like, what are grades? We're taking a test? What are any of these things? So it was like a pod person that came to school, and I was like one of like 2 Latinas in the whole high school, so it was a lot of just kind of like, why does your hair look like that? Why do you talk like a white girl? So a lot of that. And I remember everybody, I think I was like 9 years old, and everybody was playing a game on the playground, and they were like, "Don't say that we're picking teams too loud. Vanessa might want to play." And I was standing right behind them. And
that's
like, it's one of like first of 1,000 trips to the bathroom where I was just kind of like, and I'm gonna go cry in a stall, and then like from that point it just like snowballed to like pick on the weirdo, to where the boys had this game where it was like, see who can ask Vanessa out with a straight face.
Oh my God.
I know. Or like we'd have like water gun fights and stuff like that, and I got like boobs first, so it was just like, oh no, these, so then run to the bathroom. So like it was so fucking horrible from all of like elementary to junior high that once I got to high school, I was just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Can't hurt me now.
Yes, can't hurt me now.
I paid my dues, and if you don't like it, kiss my ass.
I paid my dues. I'm uncomfortable all the time, and I'm making it known.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a thing where I realized I was awkward because I was explicitly told that I was awkward. Like in those non-specific terms, I just like, it was awkwardness. It wasn't anything else. I just like did not know how to be normal around people. And then it got worse and worse. And then I was like, what if I just lean into it really hard? And then it just became, normal. Like I'm a little strange around people sometimes, and like I don't know how to move my body that well. So
God, the magic of the lean in.
So and I was just like, so I'm gonna make this jokes now, and now here we are on this podcast, me fully leaning, still doing it, still not over it, clearly.
Totally. I think like in middle school, I went through all of middle school thinking very stereotypically like, well, I'm not like the prettiest girl, and like guys aren't talking to me, so I'm giving up on that. I'm not gonna do that, and I'm not popular, and like I'm not rich, and I'm not this and that. And so like the whole time I just thought like, oh, I'm like a weird kid and whatever, I've got my friends and I'm fine, whatever. And then like at the end of 8th grade, I like, turns out the prestige, like the curtain was lifted, and I found out like, oh, people actually do like me because I'm funny. And like finding that out was like, oh, thank fuck, I have something to offer to this cold,
the best.
cruel world. Like
when you
I don't have to be the prettiest girl. I don't need guys to talk to me. I'm funny. And people like that because everybody likes a funny girl. So yes, that's cool. So going in high school, I was like, okay, like I wouldn't say I was living like my truest self, but I was definitely like, okay, I know at least I have a purpose in this world. I have been assigned and I've been given to the school by God to be funny. And then there was like 100,000 funny people in my high school. So I was like, well, fuck, back to square one.
It's just when you find out that like one thing about you that is a positive and not just like you're weird, you're awkward, like you're funny, you're whatever, like you're smart, like you're charming, whatever. It's just like you hold on to that and you lean into that. Like that's your
and
thing.
I mean, I think that's the classic.
That's what's gonna
like,
get you through this.
I think it's a classic like adolescent fear, and I think like also as an adult, like you're constantly like, oh fuck, nobody likes me, man. Like I know it, nobody likes me, but in reality, like it's fine. Like at least 2 other people do like you. I swear to God, there's at least 2.
So when that like middle school time that sounded real rough, did you like develop, what were your like coping, how to get through like with friends and like
I would definitely say humor. Like humor was a big part of it for me because I could even remember like the day I started using humor as a deflection, because I remember this girl who had been like mocking me mercilessly all throughout choir practice asked me to go to her sleepover, and I was like, well, I don't have good luck with these, but like, let's
I've had
bad track record.
Bad track records. I have no idea why I'm invited. And I come and like, there's activities and stuff like that, but I'm being left out of all of them. And I'm like, why would you invite me? And so they're all in the backyard. I see there's a hammock in the corner. And I like just sit in the hammock and like kind of cross my arms, and I'm just like not really like I don't want to interact with anybody anymore. And I hear somebody ask her like, why did you even invite her? And then she was like, my mom made me. She's friends with her mom. And at that point, I don't even remember what it was that I said, but I remember just like muttering something and them hearing and like giggling about it. And like I kind of just started like making fun of myself a little bit, like in like a very
that's
like
always the first step, the
like
self-deprecation.
And then I did not stay. It wasn't like, oh, we became friends because they thought it was funny. It was just enough to keep them from like seeing me cry and be like, call my mom, I want her to pick me up.
Right.
But like after that, I just like leaned heavy into the self-deprecation thing for a little bit. And that was where some of the coping skills started. And like sometimes it was funny and other times it was just like uncomfortable and alienating.
Yeah. Because I remember like I can't think, but I definitely made jokes that just made everyone feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
To this day, I'll say something and then be like, oh, I was kidding, everyone. You can laugh at that. That wasn't a cry for help. I swear to God.
That still resonates. And I always want like, especially teachers, like older adults in the room, how do you handle when you just see a kid just like self-deprecating?
Yeah.
Because that's a very like, it's an adult thing to do. That's like, to do it properly, I feel like you have to have the maturity that comes with adulthood. So to see like a 12-year-old do it as an adult, you might be like, oh man, that kid's probably going to be a comedian.
Yeah.
Like,
I had a lot of adults that would be like, hey, we should have a conversation about some of the jokes that you've been making.
Aw.
Or it's just like, is everything okay at home? And I'm like, why?
Yeah, sure. I'm just making these jokes.
It's fun, man. I'm just trying to get by. You need to let me.
It's like, this is all I have. This is my only tiny sword that I have to get through this.
Yeah.
Your daughter's a bitch, and this is how we're getting along.
Well, and then I ran into this problem like at the end of elementary school, big time. I had to apologize to so many people. I'm really good at apologizing to people on a one-on-one basis for this reason, because I thought like, well, I'm being self-deprecating, so I'm gonna bust your balls too because you're self-deprecating like me, right?
yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
you know these things about you, and like I would like make, and I literally, oh my god, I keep coming back to this, and I'm sorry, but like I literally was like talking to one of my guy friends in class, and like I was like, well, and you know, as a gay man yourself, blah blah blah, and I think this was like 4th grade.
Oof.
And like I only was around, like all of my family friends were gay, lesbian, somewhere on that kind of spectrum. So I mean, aren't we all? So like I thought, I was like, oh yeah, you know, joking the way my parents and their friends would joke with each other, but that's not cool to tell a 10-year-old. See, as a homosexual, like that's like
Out.
exactly.
Like
I had no idea that was like wholly and wildly inappropriate, and that was like the only time that my 4th grade teacher, I think, truly ever got mad at me, which he should have, because that was terrible.
Right.
And he pulled me aside and like kind of like as an adult, he was like, Sarah, you know that like not everybody has the same experiences that you do, and you can't, like, you're very self-deprecating. And he didn't use his words. Basically, he was like, look, you're 40 years old like me at the age of 10. So like be cool with the other kids, because like you are insane and like you act like you're so much older than you are, and like everyone else is 10. So just act like a 10-year-old, please. Can you please, just for the rest of the year? Like he for real level, like he got to my eye level and leveled with me, like, look, as adult to adult, just shut the fuck up.
That's a good
sometimes in
teacher.
class. Yo, Mr. Churchill was amazing. I loved him. And then like that's when I kind of realized like, oh, not everybody is on the same page as me.
Yeah.
And the world doesn't revolve around me. How heartbreaking is that?
Yeah.
To learn that you're not the center of attention all the time.
Oh man, it's a good lesson to learn young though. I did a lot of apologizing too, like once I started to be more comfortable in my own skin, because I was like in my discomfort. There was like people that I was either openly hostile towards or who I was like kind of ball busty about, where I was just like, well, I won't feel good unless I apologize.
Right.
And I have a mom who's the worst at apologizing in the universe, but really good at teaching other people how to apologize. So
I feel like that's parents.
Yeah.
Most parents.
Where it's just like she can't say an apology, but she can like help you form a good one. So that's where I got a lot of like, I'm gonna make a lot of I statements and things that I did.
Yes, exactly.
And
take responsibility for your action.
for
and
my
recognize
end.
that.
Yeah. I feel like that's the difference between a bully and a comedian, is that like someone who grows up to be a comedian will then feel bad about it because they don't actually mean it. So like if you do hurt someone, you're like, oh no, that's not where I meant. Where a bully will just be like kind of psychotic about it and be like, you're crying.
Yeah, that empathy of like, I'm just trying to make you laugh. I did not mean to make you cry, but now I realize what I said was actually so fucking cruel and harsh and totally inappropriate.
Let's
I'm
sit on this
sorry.
curb and have a Marlboro 27 and I'll tell you how sorry I am. That made me really good at conflict resolution.
With smoking.
That's exactly what I did in 4th grade.
Really?
I got a pack of Turkish Golds and was like, sit down.
Those candy cigarettes.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
level with me here.
I did think I gave him a lollipop the next day because I did truly feel bad about that.
Well, we all
so
listened to
cute.
Sublime and played hacky sack, so everyone smoked.
Yeah.
Everyone smoked, and that eventually made me just like the bomb diffuser of arguments and stuff.
I do
between
think
my friends.
I don't smoke myself, but I do think that's like a very social thing to do of like, you know.
Yeah.
Let's go have a cigarette. Let's go talk this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like in the beginning, whenever people fought, I just couldn't handle conflict so much that I was just like when you like spray 2 dogs that are fighting with a hose,
Right.
where like 2 people would be having a mild argument, and I would panic that this means like abandonment for everyone, so I would just go nuclear with trying to end it.
Oh yeah, that's not great.
Like back to Stupid Tom. Stupid Tom and my friend Cameron were constantly fighting, and I was always afraid like they're gonna fight, we're not gonna be friends anymore, I'm never gonna see them again. Panic. And of like the trillions of different fights that they've had, there was one where Cameron had bought a new bong with his allowance money that he had saved up for months.
God,
and
that's so cool.
Cameron was smoking out of it. I mean, Stupid Tom was smoking out of it, and he coughed into the bong, and the little piece flew out and shattered on the ground. And they got into a fight over like who was gonna pay for it, because Cameron was like, stupid Tom, you have money, and stupid Tom was like, Cameron, it's your bung, why would you give it to me if you know I have a cough?
and also if you know my name's stupid Tom.
I really love how we turned that around.
Right. And they like get into a fight and they keep like pushing each other into a fence, and I don't know what to do, and I'm literally just like hands in the air, just flailing. I don't know how to break this up, and I don't know what happens. I like just everything in my head goes black, and I'm just like, action, stop it. And I know how to break up two aggressive dogs fighting because I have family in Inglewood and I've had to do that several times. And if you don't have a hose, you kick in the balls. And so I just ran forward, didn't even see who, and just kicked them in the nuts as hard as I could to get him off the other one.
Oh my
Because I just wanted to like separate the two of them.
I love this. I love this so much. Just kick him in the dick.
I literally just like, and I just ran forward and just like whoever I can get my leg under, just hammered it in.
What a horrible way to stop a fight.
No,
Start
this
another
is
fight.
genius. This is genius. Give them a common enemy that they can bond over. And that common enemy
Vanessa,
is you.
what the fuck? Because my leg landed on Cameron's nuts and it was just shin, just all shin. And he hits the ground and Tom looks at me like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I didn't know what to do. And I was really scared that everyone was mad at each other. So I just wanted to separate you guys.
Did you hit stupid Tom in the nuts though?
No, just Cameron. Only Cameron.
Oh, see, you should have hit them both.
Yeah.
I should have got a bong.
I would have like
His new bong got broken and he got hit in the nuts.
Yeah, I would have gone with fists. I would have just gotten down to like that level and just like at the same time, two fists, get them both on the ground and be like, see, if you boys are gonna fight about something stupid like this, I'm gonna hit you in the nuts. That's genius. I'm using that. Oh my god, I'm writing that down right now.
Truly like get to that level of crazy.
Right? Like it was just like, you're crazy times 3, go.
I will say, because like it sounded like you hung out with a lot of guys growing up, and so did I. And I think there's a disconnect if you're a girl who hangs out with guys. When guys fight, it's scary.
Yeah,
because it's so immediate for them, and for us, it's scary, but on a different, more psychological level.
Yeah.
And like, there's tension here that I can feel viscerally, but I can't do anything.
Yeah.
But like, as a girl, when you see guys fight, you're like, this is very aggressive very quickly, they're gonna be fine after, but I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
like,
you don't know what to do.
Like,
yeah. No, like even, and I mean, I think this is like animal instinct, but like even the sound of like two men yelling back and forth at each other kind of triggers something in me where I'm like, oh my god, I need to get out of here. Like it's kind of scary because it's like, I don't know how far this is gonna go, because I mean there are some, I mean, I don't mean to like generalize men, I'm sure, I mean, fucking women will also like fight each other and break shit as well, but you're right, it just sounds so much more aggressive than it look like the optics on it. And I hope men are taking note of this.
Even fighting,
messing around. When like because I like, I mean, I had guy friends growing up, but definitely like more personal hanging out time was spent with girls. So like I didn't have a brother, like I completely missed roughhousing. Like that was something I never saw or was ever around. And like now when I see like roughhousing, or like even when I was in college and roughhousing would start, I'd be like, stop fighting each other, like please stop. And it's like, Sarah, calm down, like we're just screwing around. I'm like, you had him in a headlock, like what the fuck, this is not messing around.
You learn, but it's also hard to decipher like when it gets serious and when it's not. And like,
exactly.
I never know. And also, now I just know the best thing to do is nothing.
There's always whenever there's a fight or a skirmish, there's always someone in the peripheral who will get hit.
Yes.
There's always, and there are people who are consistently that person. I don't think I'm consistently like always the person who gets hit, but I've been that person more times than I care to admit.
Yeah, I've had bodies land on me or just like a heel clip.
Right, yeah. Like you went to Warped Tour too. Like you get caught up in a mosh pit by accident and it's like a fist comes flying. Like,
yeah, it's like flushing. It's like flushing a doll down the toilet where you're just like, where are my limbs? I'm in this.
You didn't mean to. I happened to be standing here and like now I'm getting hit, and that's what scares me the most, is because like I do have a chance of being the person who gets caught in the up.
And I'm like such a mom too, because when I see that kind of thing happen, I'm like, no, don't get away from the TV, like don't break anything, and you're fucking stupid horse playing, god damn it. Like I just like,
get away from the
stop
TV.
Jumping on the bed.
Yeah, and like I think because I had a really, like my best gal pal growing up, she and I were like two tiny adults with each other where we were very communicative together.
Yes.
Like when she and I were mad, we would like vocalize while we were upset.
Yeah, so when you do this, I feel
this hurts me.
Yeah.
Like she's almost 2 years younger than me, but she got like bumped up a few grades, and we just like hit like just immediately just besties for like she's still love her to death. And when I was 15, she was 13, I was afraid that we didn't have the same things in common anymore, and we were gonna be friends anymore. Because like when we were kids, we bonded over just like a mutual love of hip hop and watching rap battles and stuff like that, and that was our thing. And then she got like really into like the Jonas Brothers, and I was just doing my fucking thing, and I was just like, we're not gonna talk anymore. She has a new friend group, and I have a new friend group.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that the other one was having this like inner conflict.
Oh, yeah.
So we were sitting in my room, and all of a sudden, like I just start tearing up, and she does too. And I was just like, I'm afraid we're not gonna talk anymore. And she's like, I've had the same concern. Don't worry, I still love you. We're still gonna be in each other's life.
That's so sweet.
That is the most girly thing I've ever heard.
It's the most like girl
But I've
conflict.
definitely had those moments.
Again, like a scene in a movie where it's like, I just feel we're drifting apart, but like I could never drift apart from you.
Exactly. It's just like, you're still my forever. And she was frequently the one that was also like being like, Vanessa, break them up, because she was also in that friend group. So she was the reason why I'd just be like,
you gotta
glass
do
of water,
something.
throw it.
No, I just Hulk out on two people who are fighting.
Yeah, because like if they're fighting and then I have my like sweet sensitive friend panicking, it just when you're a teenager, it's
mess
just
for you.
red alert.
Yeah. There's
You're
a lot
just
going
in the
on.
middle, and it's a mess. I think I just have a fear of being that person who peripherally like gets a punch thrown at them.
Yeah.
Because the first like physical fight I ever saw was in close proximity to with women, was between two girls on my basketball team, and it was like an after practice, like our coach asked us to stay aside, and for some reason I was still there. I was one of those people, although I did nothing wrong. It was like a punishment thing.
Oh, I'm sure you didn't.
I did nothing wrong ever. But they had been like going at it and like throwing elbows like all practice, and you can tell they were gonna fight, and they started fighting in that like after practice session, and I ran the other way, like a straight up little bitch move, just like ran.
That's how I would react now. Are you kidding me? If a fight broke out, if a fight broke out between like two guys and two chicks, I'd run away.
No, I ran away and then got yelled at for running away because I was apparently there to be the mediator. What? Which made no sense, because both of these girls could have beaten the shit out of me at any moment. Like I was definitely the smallest, whitest person there.
Yeah.
And would have got the shit kicked out of me.
Yeah.
It's like, why me? Why'd you pick me?
I'm 5'2". I have zero business being in between two bodies that are physically attacking each other at all.
I had gotten yelled at, and then the fight like continued outside. Like the coach broke them up and yelled at me. I the one who wasn't fighting, yelled at me. And then so when we left the gym, I was like, I'm gonna break it up now. I'm gonna be a big brave girl. And then they started fighting, and I was like, Bridget's moment to shine, and I go in to break it up, but the entire football team was there, and like all the guys just broke it up, and I was like, you guys, I was gonna be a hero.
I think my scrappiness wasn't appealing when I was in high school. As an adult, for some reason, it's been a real catch. I don't know why. It's not even something that I set out for, but like anytime there's been just like a witness to my contribution to the fight, it's been like, hey, can I get your number? But like, not a clue why. But
Because you're very cool. I mean, if we haven't already established, you're like fucking very cool.
Although you were the person in the skate group you mentioned who did not skate.
I did not skate, and I would try and constantly like hurt myself. But like as a child, it just meant like, oh man, she doesn't have boundaries. Don't talk to her. Because like I would also be like too like roughhousey and handsy with people who like didn't have those circles, so it was just like, stop touching me, we're just hanging out. I like didn't learn how to like differentiate that from a grown-up, so like there'd be a lot of moments where I'd feel like a giant hulking she-beast, where like I'd finally get invited to like this all-girls thing, and then I would like accidentally hurt someone with my like new tall body, and then I would just like huddle in a corner like, I'm so sorry, I'm a monster.
I had that feeling because I was like a little tomboy, and they would like all do like put up makeup, and I'd be like, I don't know what I'm doing, can we go play sports outside? And then I would feel like that of like I'm a monster and like isolated because of that. So childhood is miserable no matter what.
No, you can't win.
You can't escape.
I remember a girl like gently hip bumping me and me hip bumping back, and she just fucking hits the ground.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Hits the ground, starts crying, and I was just like, I thought I was gentle. I really thought I was gentle.
Oh yeah, that's and I would get overly competitive.
I was just over petting the bunny all the time, just accidentally snapping bunny necks.
You're a Lenny. You're a Lenny from Of Mice and
I
Men.
was a Lenny from Mice and Men. Anytime where it was just like, ooh, new delegate friend that wants to play with me. Oh my God, I heard it. What did I do?
Yeah, I think I'm like on the opposite end of the spectrum because I was like, one of the boys in elementary school. I like middle school. I kind of like phased out of that, but I thought I was like, yeah, I'm like a tough bitch. Like, what's up? I'm really like 75 pounds, like 4'7", maybe. Like puberty's not gonna hit for another 20 years, to be completely honest. I'm still waiting, honestly, for that ball to drop. And like we were playing kickball, and it was like this was like the classic thing. Like the girls would play pretend somewhere, and then the guys would be playing like an organized sport, which is where I'd come in. So like I was the only girl on the football team. I was the only girl that was playing kickball. So like I thought like, I like one of those stories where like, oh, this baby cheetah was adopted by monkeys and now they're all a family and the cheetah doesn't know that he's not a monkey. Like that was me. Like, I don't know. I wasn't one of the boys.
It makes you feel like Ferdinand the Bull.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, thank you for that reference.
It's like, I want to be delicate so bad.
Right. And so like I was like literally at the end of 5th grade and I had never been in a physical fight before and I still haven't, but I thought I need to be in a fight. Like I need to fight somebody. Like I need to earn my, like, I want to be a boy. Like I want to be a part of this. And I started like to shove this kid who got me out in kickball. I was like, yo, that fucking sucked. Or like, whatever. I was in 5th grade. I was like, that freaking stinked, bro. Or like, whatever. And so like I started to shove him and like literally all the guys just looked. Yeah. Like not a one person tried to even be like, Sarah, back off. Like they literally just watched me like shove this kid. Yeah. And he looked at me like, Sarah, what are you doing? And like it, like now I know. Well, none of those boys were gonna touch a girl. Yeah, like
that's
for one, they weren't gonna touch a girl at all, and for two, they weren't gonna hit her or fight back. And also, all of them could have kicked my ass one by one, no question. Yeah. So I just wound up looking stupid because after a certain point, like I just stopped shoving and just got out. Like I just had to accept like there wasn't even like I didn't even lose a fight. I lost the precursor to a fight and just kind of like, slunk back into the line of kickball. It just like, cause literally they didn't even take me as a threat.
Yeah. I was a very competitive I still am like a hugely competitive monster. And I would play sports with my older brother all the time and like go up and like trash talk his friend, like you're going down. And they'd just be like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then just get me out. And I'd be like, well, I got to shut my mouth. Like, yeah. Get real mad, worked up.
You just reminded me of something, actually.
Yeah.
I'm always curious about this about people. What was the first swear word you remember saying? Like,
oh fuck, I've been fucking cursing my whole goddamn life. I remember, I don't know, but I do remember seeing Space Jam, and in the movie they say bastard and moron, and I thought those were on the same level. Where moron is significantly less than bastard. Like moron you could say on a PG show, bastard you couldn't. Yeah. So I do remember using, and then I also thought like crap and shit were interchangeable. I didn't realize that they were like, one was of a higher degree. Yeah. But I do remember cursing very fucking young and just like kind of not even caring, like whatever, everyone's swearing, right?
Yeah.
My parents were really weird about it because they were just like, you can't even say stupid. And I now curse all the time in front of my mom, and she's just like, but she's never cursing at anyone. It's always just like, Mom, this is fucking delicious. Yeah. So she's like over it now. But like, I remember me and that same girl that I was talking about earlier, the forever bestie, we were both at school and we were just like, have you ever said the F word before? And she's like, I've never said the F word. So we made plans to go to her house after school.
Oh my God.
And stand in the backyard when her parents weren't home and say fuck as loud as we could. And we like planned it first period.
Oh my God.
Last period's over. We carpooled to her house. Her parents are on their way to dinner. We like go to the backyard and we're like, you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah.
That's
fuck.
Adorable.
I wish I was in that neighborhood. I would have loved to have heard two little girls.
Just all like, the neighborhood kids. Are you guys saying fuck?
You want to come over? We're all saying fuck.
That's adorable. What a lovely memory.
That's so sweet.
I called my brother a bastard because it was right after I saw the Austin Powers movie, and Fat Bastard was a character. So
yeah, see, the movies I watched at the time just kind of like, and then my parents swore, and again, it wasn't like we weren't swearing at each other. It was just like, oh God damn it, the TV's out, like that kind of swearing. So yeah, I was like, obviously, like I wouldn't swear in front of my teachers, and my parents were definitely like, don't use that language, please. You're like a pretty little girl, and this sounds like you're a sailor. Like you sound insane. But again, I thought I was 40 years old.
My dad to this day hates when I swear. I like every time I come home, I have to think about all the words I'm going to say because to this day I'll still get yelled at for swearing.
I have to watch around my dad, not my mom.
Yeah, my mom doesn't care. My dad doesn't.
You know, the only place where I truly filter and I'm like, I'm not going to swear here actually is any Disney theme park I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm very aware of like not swearing.
behave there.
Yeah, like because I don't be like
clean up for Disney.
Peter Pan fucking ride is goddamn.
You got to clean it up for Disney.
Like like the little kids are. I'm not gonna swear for all the little kids.
Yeah.
So that's like the one place, but everywhere else I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I grew up like right around Disneyland, so like people got really good at like switching it up once they got their first few jobs at Disney, where it was just kind of like, I'm not swearing here, but I am out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also my basketball coach was just. We all changed our language because he swore every other word.
Oh yeah, he was a sports coach of a high school team.
Yeah, and he was a little bit abusive, so verbally abusive. So everyone's like, yeah, the girls' basketball team, it's a real problem. All of them have horrible mouths, and we were all like, oh no, that's just you. Don't be mad at us. Be mad at the 6'7" man verbally abusing all of us. But whatever, it's cool.
Yeah,
it landed on us.
Yeah.
But that's a amazing first. I've never heard of like a first swear story.
Yeah, I honest to God can't even tell you my first swear.
I've never heard of a first, but that's what a delightful childhood memory.
I was very heavily monitored by my dad, so it made me like really good at like compartmentalizing different parts of myself. Like I even kept a decoy diary where it was just like, this is the one you read. Yeah, where it's like, this is the one he reads and this is the one I actually keep.
Did you still hide the one that he reads?
Yeah, I would hide it, but somewhere like kind of obvious so that like he'd feel smart about finding it.
Genius.
So I was just like,
because he'd stop looking.
Yeah, and then I kept the other one at my friend's house. So
oh
my god, that is like genius. You're giving me so many ideas this episode.
And my mom's
hiding your diary from your dad,
and also hitting people in the nuts when they're fighting.
Right,
that's great.
My mom was like, if you start now, you're never gonna like completely be super open with him, and I'm like, it'll be fine. And now I'm 26 years old and he has no idea that I am tattooed on a large part of my body, and it's all right. Yep.
That's the decoy diary. That's brilliant.
That's genius.
I woke up. I remember waking up one morning in high school to my mom reading my phone in my room, just like not like I woke up and she's just standing where my phone was charging, and just like I'm miming scrolling through it. It was not scrolling through it at this point. It was like a brick phone. But I woke up and she was reading my phone, and I just was like, what the hell?
Wow.
It was a real breach of trust. She was just like a deer in the headlights. It was a real reversal of roles.
It's like, I'm gonna wake up.
Yeah. It's a real reversal of roles in that moment of like, she was caught doing the clearly bad thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was not prepared to discipline my own mother on why you can't just scroll through someone's phone.
Right.
Although I was 17 and she had every right to, probably, but still messed up.
Yep. Maybe, I don't know.
Still, I was a good kid. There was no reason to be doing that. Like, it's
like, if I never gave you a reason, just trust the fact that most of these text messages are just like saying lol when I don't mean it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they were pretty open. They were like, yeah, you go to parties and you can drink sometimes. Just, don't fuck up. And I didn't. And,
yeah, because
still reading my phone,
my
Mom.
parents. Well, I don't know if my parents snooped. I don't know if they did, but like because of that, I'm very open. I was very open with my parents. Like, we had like a good, honest like conversation back to back. But I do remember like in the early days of email, like I would, and I mean, I think I was just too young to be on the computer, but like we would be emailing like back and forth to each other almost at the rate of like an IM would, which would later evolve. But it would be like my mom, I would dictate to my mom what I want to tell my friends. And she'd like a secretary sit there and be like, EP, check it out. I have an email. Isn't that cool? Anyway, what? Like, I don't even know what the fuck.
What a lame thing to make a grown adult do.
No, I wish I could like have those emails again and just read like, what the fuck were we even talking about? What was there even to talk about? Like, can you believe Bradford said that at school? LOL, laughing out loud. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Send. And my poor mom would have to sit there and like, and you want to put a semicolon and a parenthesis. Oh, I see. It's like a winking. Oh, I get it. Oh, that's clever.
That's so lame.
Yeah, and like click send, and then like 100 years later, the next email would come in, and it would be all over again.
Oh, your poor mom just being like, "Oh my god, my daughter's a nerd."
Well, because she knew if she didn't do it for me, I would get on it because God knows I hid because she was like, "You can't have a MySpace." I had a MySpace. You can't have AOL AIM. I had AOL. Like, I mean, come on.
What was your handle?
That's a great embarrassing
God,
thing.
why would you do this on the show?
I mean, this is a podcast. We've definitely talked about this before.
I thought we were talking about pro tips for, fighting and stuff. No, I was starry-eyed surprise one, but spelled in a way that was like so condensed and dumb.
Yeah, there are no vowels. Every uppercase and lowercase were switched up.
I didn't do that necessarily, but like definitely when I like the aesthetic to how I sent IMs is like completely illegible. Like I can't believe anyone could even read like the pink and green neon bullshit. Well, what was yours?
I had two. One, because the first one I just lost the password to and didn't know how to retrieve it. And it was like habla musica, and then I learned that I was funny. So the one I had later was it was spelled so that it was smaller, and then there was a bunch of numbers after it I don't remember, but it was Hispanic at the disco.
Cool.
Perfect.
That's good. That's not even embarrassing. That's good. That's good.
That's
good
The
stuff.
first one was just kind of like, I haven't learned how to structure a joke yet. And then the second one was just like, this is going to be the one.
You hit.
The embarrassing part is how long I like sat to think about what it was going to be.
Oh, yeah, of
like,
course.
just sat all day in school, just like writing stuff down in a binder.
Yeah, the away message jokes is really what I tried the hardest on.
Yeah, that's a graveyard of just bad embarrassing things.
Yeah. We've definitely talked about AIM names. We've had to, because mine
There's
was
no way we haven't.
oof.
What was yours?
It's always hard to say. Prankster 93.
I love it.
Oh my god.
Did I pull pranks? No.
No.
That was just like I don't know where it came from. Never pulled a prank. Or I did to my brother, put icy hot on his toilet seat, which is
I love watching
funny.
you. I love watching you unravel right now at this screen name. You're just like
like breaking down like a computer.
exactly.
Yeah, I think the only people I pulled pranks on were my brother, and they weren't that funny.
And you were born in 93 though, so you got that right.
So one thing about my personality shined through, and it's that the year I was born, which is
That's it.
not part of it.
Yeah, no, but if your screen name doesn't make you, I mean, you had a fucking great one.
Yeah.
But if you have a screen name that doesn't like make you cringe, I mean, did you really live?
Yeah.
Because I had some embarrassing emails. Like I had California Basket Case for a while because I really liked Green Day.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I can't remember what the other one was, but I remember I had like tried to make a stupid pun, and oh god, I wish I could remember, but it had something to do with cats.
Of course.
Stupid Tom had Etnies in it.
Cool.
Oh my god.
The coolest skate brand.
Yep.
Etnies. I love it. Late 90s, early 2000s skate culture.
Yep.
It's the
That tainted
best.
my life.
Yeah. It's the best. I remember going to a skate park and my dad took me there, and no one was there at the time. They like let me go early because they didn't want me to get like run over by people who were better at skateboarding than me. So I would go real early to like this indoor skate park and just skate around by myself for a really long time.
All the skate kids actually did live in my neighborhood, but it really was like just so like the kids I could see after school and middle school were skate kids.
Yeah.
But like I never got into the culture, and part of it was because my mom, after my sister broke both of her arms in a span of like 2 years, she was like, there shall never be a skateboard within this hallowed home for risk of my daughters breaking any more bones. From henceforth, no one will be on anything that rolls around at all. And so like I wasn't, like I just never had a skateboard. It never came up. And then it just missed me. And now I'm like retroactively having to learn about like emo pop punk. I mean, Bridgett, we talk about this all the time, but like I didn't have a pop punk phase, so now I'm having to like relearn. Like I like Warped Tour. I never went to Warped Tour. It never even crossed my mind to go to Warped Tour.
No, man, you can't get into it now. It's too late. Either you did
but I can truly educate
myself.
I sound like a fucking anthropologist. Like I have to learn of this culture though, because I feel like I missed a huge part of the early 2000s. By not like that's when I was getting into like classic rock. Like I kind of went back and like learned about like music
you get
came
into
before
classic
me.
rock first, and then you get into pop punk.
You gotta learn.
I skipped that for some reason.
Yeah,
you gotta learn the fundamentals, so then you can learn how to subvert them.
Yeah, exactly.
I went straight into like pop. Well, not pop, but like hip hop and R&B and rap.
And then like
hip hop was huge for me.
Yeah. Hip-hop, I definitely.
Well, the early 2000s was a renaissance, I think, of like
No, I
for
definitely
sure.
listened to hip hop first, and then because it was Miami, and like that's what was popular.
Of course.
And then I was like, I'm gonna be my own person, and that's when I got into pop punk and would make my parents drive like 45 minutes to go see Plain White Tees or All Time Low
God.
or The Main. Or
These are
something.
you're naming everyone's MySpace default songs. Like
Yeah.
I definitely listened to like 2 or 3 songs from each of those artists, but I never got into it. So like where
Cute
everyone,
is what we aim for.
yeah. Like when everyone
What
took
bad
a
names.
ride, everyone took a ride at Blink-182. I took a left to the Yin Yang Twins. Like I was like, all right, see you guys on the other end of this when we meet up again
And everybody
later to
has
be really
taste.
into Lady Gaga. Like I think like, that's where it converged.
Ooh, I don't know about that, but
I just feel like that was like the next artist that everyone was like, hey, we all love this person, right? Great. Like we're on the same page here.
I think your musical theater school is showing.
That's very true. Yeah.
Before I actually like developed my own taste in music, I specifically remember this because I was like 9-10 years old, and it was before I realized that I like what I like, and I was just trying to figure out what everyone else liked. So I went to they were Warehouse Music at the time, and I was like, I'm gonna buy my first CD, and I'm gonna buy the CD that I think is gonna get everyone else to talk to me. And what I thought everyone was listening to was Baha Men.
What?
So I was just like, look, fellow kids, I got this. And when that didn't
such
work,
Steve Buscemi and 30 Rock. Music band.
Yep.
Baha Men. That's so funny.
Yep, and then I returned the CD later when it did not work with helping me make friends, and that's when I like started just like looking for my own shit.
Yeah.
I never bought a CD to do that, but I remember one of the first CDs I bought was like a Nelly mixtape. It wasn't even like mainstream, you know?
Yeah, Nellyville.
Yeah, it was like a early EP mixtape from Nelly. That was one of the first CDs I bought.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just really wanted to know all the music that was playing at all the parties I was going to, so I could show up and like know all the words and be like, yeah, I know this dance, I know this music video, like I know it's like, and I still kind of feel that way.
Do
like
the Soulja Boy dance.
exactly, like I still listen to the radio, like I still kind of want to keep in
Yeah.
touch with what the kids are
What are the
listening
kids into? Yeah.
But as a result, I just kind of like slightly edged out of like a pop, like I missed pop punk just by like a hair.
Well,
a hair.
your loss.
I was just angsty enough
okay.
that I fell deep into it.
Yeah, super into it.
Yeah.
I feel like there are a handful of kids at every school who went B-side Panic at the Disco.
Yeah.
Who like didn't just do I Write Since Not Tragedies, but you knew like Build God and Then We'll Talk.
Exactly.
And, like, you knew all of A Fever We Can't Sweat Out.
Whew, man.
What a record.
You were naming things that I have
what
heard of
memories.
before.
It was back when all pop
Probably
punk
from me.
songs, all of the titles were like tiny
Oh,
novels.
yeah, they were
Yes,
so
yes.
long. Fall Out Boy, yeah, their first record was like all their song titles were full
Just
sentences.
a fucking mouthful.
that made
all
no
of them.
sense.
Yeah.
Like none of them
Also,
are
like I've been
decipherable.
kind of nice about saying this, but like the people that listen to that music, I did not like in middle school. But like they were in my class. It was one of those things where it's like, look, we get along just fine in school, but I don't want to see you after school.
Yep.
And so like that did kind of like taint that a little bit because I was like, Jesus Christ. And I do remember thinking like, what the fuck are the names of these guys? Like back when you had the iPod and it used to scroll through the whole entire the song. I'm like, how do you even tell like the DJ to be like, oh, can you put on my
Well, it's not songs you tell. You
well,
play
I
at
know,
a
but like
party.
this is my middle school interpretation of this music. Like it's, I was like, this is so long and silly. I can't get into this.
I did do a PowerPoint presentation on the Ramones for a show and tell thing once because I wanted to get a girl named Tiffany to like me. I hadn't even been listening to them at the time. I just looked it
you were
up because
just
she had the
trying-
shirt and
Classic.
I like just Wikipedia'd
Hey, she also
it.
wasn't listening to it. I have to tell you.
I know, but boy, did I try. Although Tiffany did recently call me hot. Sup, Tiffany?
Nice.
Yeah, no, you can never go by shirts and
Nope.
musical stays. Because I thought my music taste was real cool when I was listening to pop punk, so I'd always try to like drop it into conversations, and no one knew what I was talking about because the song titles were so long and indecipherable.
Yep.
Yeah.
that everyone's just like, no one cares.
I was into indie music. Like I was like, okay, go. And like, I mean, I think Plain White Tees is kind of like the border of the two genres.
They're not good.
No, they're not. But like, this is what I listen to.
It was definitely like lame on the side of the pop punk
Yes.
thing.
I remember we used my iPod for, I was like in speech and debate forensics, whatever, and we did a lip sync to a song from Dreamgirls. Because let's take a look into my life that was like, guys, it'd be so funny. It was funny. I was like, we'll have all the guys do Dreamgirls. And so they were using my iPod, and it was hilarious because like these skinny, white, prepubescent boys lip syncing to Dreamgirls. I mean, come on. It was hilarious. I promise you. It was funny at the time. But like it was on shuffle, and the very next song that came on was Super Trooper by ABBA.
Oh,
Which now ABBA's kind of at a renaissance because now people are really into Mamma Mia, those movies and stuff. But at the
I don't know if
time,
they're really into them.
Super Trooper starts with just them singing in a 4-part harmony, Super Trooper, beams are gonna blind me. And I could not have turned my iPod off fast enough. Every middle school had turned and looked at me like, what the fuck choir music was that? And like the adult was like, oh, I can't believe you have ABBA on your iPod. I'm like, I don't.
Shut up.
You shut up. Be cool. Like, I don't listen to this. I haven't heard it. I don't even know what that song was. Like, that's so random and so weird. Yeah. But I do remember feeling like, oh my God, I can't ever have my iPod on the aux cord ever again. It's a landmine. I might have cool music, but then the Annie soundtrack will come on and then I'm ruined.
Who knows?
Oh my God, you just gave me a flashback.
Oh no, what embarrassing song played?
I ruined a morp. Some schools have it. It's like the first dance before everything else. It's prom spelled backwards. It's like pre-homecoming. And it's a super casual one. And they were just like, Vanessa has kind of good taste in music. We're going to let you pick the songs for this one.
God, I would be up all night.
And I was super excited. And the thing is, I didn't want to do it on iTunes. So I went on like Kazaa and Napster and stuff. And so I went on those and I was like downloading songs that I was going to put on. And there's one that a group of girls specifically kept asking me to have. And it was, it was like Wake Up Call by Maroon 5 or something like that. Like that was the one that the specific group of girls were just like, we want you to play this one towards the end of the dance. And I'm like, got you. Perfect. So it's going well. I have the like playlist going. I'm just like, hell yeah, I did such a good job. And then Wake Up Call starts playing. And the first 20 seconds are the actual song. I did not listen to the song before I put it, so I didn't know what I downloaded. So the first 20 seconds are the actual song. And then it's a guy playing it at home in front of his laptop mic, like just himself, just wake up, God, like by himself, terribly for the rest of the song.
And you're just like, this song is fucking terrible.
And like as soon as it happens, you could just like feel the fun suck out of the room, and just like a quiet booing starts, and my fucking they never left that to me ever again. Like I never got that job ever again.
I would spring load my iPod with songs that I knew were popular with everyone else. So like even though I wasn't listening to
Fall Out Boy.
What's like I got the gift of one liner. Okay, yeah, Curse of Curves, I think is the name of the song. Like I never fucking listened to that, but it was on my iTunes.
It was filler.
In the chance that I'm sharing earbuds with somebody and that comes on and they're like, "Oh, Sarah, I love this song." And I'm like, same.
Love
this
it.
Isn't my first hearing of it.
Yeah. Yes, I definitely have heard this more than.
I listen to this when you're not here.
Like I would literally, there was a website you can download people's MySpace default songs off of, and I would like go through my. I would go through
creepy.
Well, like you know, like
yeah,
you know
I know what you're talking
kind of
about.
like Shazam, but like this is the early 2000s,
okay,
and like
the
internet was like a fucking wasteland. And I would literally go to my friends' MySpace profiles, and I would download whatever their default song was at the time.
Yeah.
One, to get to listen to like what the kids are listening. Like, you know, genuinely, like I've discovered a lot of cool bands that way.
Like a Spotify playlist,
but exactly, but also mainly so it's like I have something on my iPod that I'm not embarrassed by, like ABBA and at the time Queen. I was also deeply embarrassed by listening to Queen, which now, you know, no reason to be embarrassed by that. No. But at the time, I was like, I definitely listen to music that's cool.
Yeah.
This is an insecurity I still deal with.
Yeah. Well, we're all dealing with them.
Well, because Bridgett says I've got the music taste of a wedding DJ, and that's not true. I just listen to songs that are popular.
It's up for debate.
But you know what? If I can enjoy Earth, Wind, and Fire and Casey and the Sunshine Band in the privacy of my own home,
I have the taste of music of a like sad 50-year-old man, so it's all fun. It's all good. Vanessa, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
With us. Tell people where they can find you.
You can find me on @NessGritton. That's NESGRITTON on Twitter and Instagram. And my website is vanessagritton.com. And I have a fantastic podcast called Brouhaha. That's BRUJAJA. If you want to check it out with 2 other comedians, Anna Valenzuela and Sandy Aravina. And it's a whole mess of fun. So check that out.
So you did relinquish Hispanic at the Disco.
I did relinquish it, but I'm gonna come back when we do a Latinas and pop punk episode because we have to.
Oh
yeah,
please.
Yeah, for sure.
Please. And you can find this podcast on all the social medias at Rough Stuff Pod. And you can find me on Twitter at Bridgett Tweets.
And I'm at Twitter at SK_Griffith.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been a Small Beans endeavor. We're a bunch of pals who make podcasts, sketches, music, web series, and movies. The Beans always have new ideas percolating, so make sure to check us out at patreon.com/smallbeans. That's patreon.com/smallbeans, where you can browse all of our current and past content, see what we've got planned in the future, and learn how your support can help the small beans grow into huge, giant monster beans. If you enjoyed this content module, please like, rate, subscribe, or tell a friend about us. We love you!